What is up, guys? This is Zach, and I'm back with PBL commentary of my Week 8 match against Dan and the Enteis. Dan has built quite a formidable rain team, and I knew from the get-go my team did not match up well against this rain team, so this match is just me doing my best against the rain team and see what we can do. So I'm just going to jump straight into it. Also, shout out to My Friend How soundtrack. Everyone else has such serious soundtracks, and I just need like some fun music playing. But anyway, I lead off with Ferrothorn. Looking at his team, he didn't bring any stab fire, so I was not scared of a stab fire lead. So I'm just gonna throw Ferrothorn out there to handle whatever comes out. Drizzle comes out and sets up rain. At this point, I looked. It said that there was 5 turns of rain, so I thought that meant that this Politoed was not holding a damp rock to extend the turns of rain. But I do just go straight out for a power whip here. I'm afraid Dan in the past has run like Perish Song Politoed just to like get rid of threats he didn't like. Ferrothorn would definitely be a threat that he would get rid of. So I went straight for a power whip that turn. And I get Hurricaned. Obviously Hurricane always hits in the rain, but Dan does get that 30% chance Confusion. And I just go for a Toxic and land it. I broke through Confusion and I landed a Toxic, so I'm happy about that. And there's no way I'm staying in on another Hurricane, so I'm getting out of here. So Barney comes out, he can resist this Hurricane. He's not going to take it fantastic because he's not defensive in any way, but he won't take over half. It'll do less than half at least, and I was okay with that. Barney is Scarfed this week to outspeed a Scarfed Tornadus and anything else that Dan really brings. I think I see later on that Scarfed Barney outspeeds even his Swift Swim Swampert, so I think he was running HP and attack investment. Anyway, Barney gets confused off of a Hurricane as well, back-to-back turns, so I did not want to test the waters. I've been generally unlucky this season. I'm not going to say I'm the unluckiest, I know Ian is, but I think I'm a pretty close second, to be honest. I guess not so close before anyone freaks out. I would say I am fighting for second, but not close to Ian. Anyway, I take an Earthquake, and I Toxic this, his name is Crotchwarts, this Seismitoad. And I noticed I take a lot of damage, to be honest. That's much more than I expected. And I realized that this is a I didn't realize this turn because I was just too focused on looking at everything else. And then he hits me with another Earthquake, and I realized this is doing way more damage than I thought it would be doing. And at that point, I realized this is a banded Seismitoad just throwing out Earthquakes, which is a problem for me. That was a mistake on my part. I should have addressed that sooner after the first Earthquake. I should have noticed, and I should have gone into my Levitator. But yeah, you mess up sometimes. So that did not do me any favors against this rain team. As you can see, rain is still coming down, so it's definitely extended rain after all of these turns. And I'm just going to go into Barney to predict some kind of another Earthquake. Sorry, to predict another Earthquake. I probably should have just gone into Uxie. I don't know why I went into Barney, to be honest with you. But I'm going to take a Side Shock. Barney's still living. And now the rain is finally gone after the first turn of rain. And now it's turn 9. So, yeah, that's probably extended rain. So I'm going to switch out back into Ferric Oxide. Ferric Oxide doesn't really fear much from this Cresselia. Cresselia obviously can have HP Fire, but Cresselia's attack, especially uninvested, is very unimpressive, to be honest. So even with HP Fire, I would expect to only take about 25%. Tops. So I'm sitting at 114, and I'm just going to see, and he does throw out a Hidden Power Fire, so let's see how much this does. 114 to 54, so it does 60 points of damage, so I actually did almost a third. So it did actually much more than I expected. But either way, I can live that pretty easily and start getting some HP back from my leftovers and this Leech Seed recovery. So after this turn, I will be at 93 HP, so I guess it's a net 21 HP loss. But now that I have HP recovery on this Cresselia, I'm just going to switch into something else. If he wants to Psyshock or Hidden Power Fire, Noggin does not care. And Noggin is going to get some of his own leftovers and let the Leech Seed take him back up to full HP. So we're going to see this Leech Seed animation bring me up to full HP and bring Cresselia just under 75%. And at this point, I reveal one of the strategies I have for this rain team. Dan's team is very, very physical with the threats. So like Garchomp, he had a Swift Swim Seismitoad that was physical. He has Swift Swim Mega Swampert. So all of these physical attackers are what scared me. So I set up a Reflect, and he goes for a Crunch. So it shows that he has coverage from my Uxie. He's got Rough Skin on, so hurts Uxie a little bit on the way out, but I still get to swap into 3Cs, the Mega Lopunny. I've got a couple Toxics on his team, so I'm feeling okay. Even though I have some Mons that are very low HP, it's kind of I'm kind of trading off with statuses. So he brings in Drip Heavy to set up another turn of rain. I really could have gone for a high jump kick here, and to be honest, I really should have gone for a high jump kick here. I just went for the safe fake out. To be honest, I'm really not a big fan of fake out. Fake out feels like a waste of a turn a lot of times. Really, it just comes in to do some chip damage so that things get in KO range for Mega Lopunny, but that just kind of allowed a switch, honestly. If I high jump kicked that, high jump kicked off the start, that Politoed would be below 25%, and I'd be feeling a lot better. But I went for the safe fake out just to see what's going on. Garchomp was in Crunch, so even if he Scarfed, he has to Crunch me. There was no reason for me to fake out. So anyway, goes in the Foghorn that goes down to half HP, and I'm gonna throw Kamikaze in and let this go down so I can get a free switch into something. Foghorn is down to a little under 37%, so he's probably sitting at 36-ish, which means a fake out from Mega Lopunny does not kill, and I expect this thing to be Scarfed, so I'm not going to use Mega Lopunny to fight it. I'm going to bring in Barney and scare it out. Of course, he has Regenerator, so he's very happy to swap out. And here comes Mega Swampert, so I'm going to go ahead and Ice Fang and do about 25%. To be honest with you, there's nothing on my team that wants to come in on a waterfall in the rain for free, so at this point, Barney is kind of the best sacrifice to take this. So I'm going to stay out. I'm going to Ice Fang him again, so I see that I'm faster and I get to get a little more damage on him, and he's going to waterfall me. So Barney goes down. So I'm down 4-6. I have 2 Mons down. He has no Mons down. He's definitely got the advantage right now. But I bring in Ferric Oxide here. This could have been where I got destroyed. If he had Hammer Arm on his Swampert, he kills my Ferrothorn, I'm pretty sure, with it. And just goes on and does whatever he wants for the rest of the game, because Ferrothorn is really what's controlling this rain team right now. I go straight for Power Whip because I don't have the liberty to do any predictions. If I went for something else and he just Earthquaked me, it was done. So I had to go for Power Whip on the Swift Swim Mega Swampert in front of me. And he reveals, or he doesn't reveal, but he uses another HP Fire, but this time it's in the rain, so it does much, much less damage. So I'm cool with that, and I'm going to throw out my Leech Seed. So I'm going to be back in a similar scenario as earlier, where I'm going to be recovering HP off this Cresselia. He can do what he wants. At this point, Psyshock is resisted, doesn't do much, and HP Fire is not stab, and it's brought down by, it's decreased by rain. So I'm getting lots of HP back from this Cresselia. It has so much HP. And he brings in Ilgross. So I could have predicted and gone for like another Leech Seed, but I figured Toxic was a safer play. I could Toxic the Cresselia, or I could Toxic whatever comes in. He could use Cresselia as a healing wish, but Cresselia cannot heal his whole team, so if I'm spreading out these Toxics, he's got to choose which one is going to be healed. So Ilgross is sitting at just about 90%. I'm going to bring in Noggin on Ilgross, expecting a Fire move or an Earthquake. He goes for Fire Fang, that's fine. And just seeing if he's scarfed at all. He's not going to be able to do anything other than Fire Fang me, so I'm feeling pretty safe. He's going to withdraw Il Gross and bring in Drip Heavy to start setting up rain yet again. He's going to just go through these processes, and this is when I feel like high jump kick would have definitely favored me earlier. I could have really weakened this Politoed down, and he might almost be dead at this point. And I would feel much better. There would be much less chances for rain getting set up with a Politoed that's that low. Anyway, bring in Ferric Oxide for pretty much free at this point. At this point, I just want to go for Power Whips. He can just see what I want to do by sacking something off, but I'm going to go ahead and Power Whip Crotch Warts, the Seismitoad. And now it's 4-5, so I'm bringing it back a little bit. He's still got some Toxics on his team, whittling his team down very slowly. Although Toxic is on Foghorn and Regenerator is replenishing his HP, but Toxic is still a nuisance to him. He's going to throw out Heat Wave, but I'm okay with that because it's still in the rain, so I was alright with staying in on a Heat Wave. And I'm going to throw out a Leech Seed, so I'm going to start getting recovery from him, and he's going to start ticking down on Toxic. So I'm feeling like I'm in a pretty good match here. At this point, I really shouldn't have left Ferric Oxide in. At this point, I should have identified that maybe both Foghorn and both Foghorn and Garchomp were choiced. I thought he might be able to make some kind of prediction and make me switch out, or catch me on the switch. So I stayed in, and I really shouldn't have. It brought me down very low. If I could have kept my Ferrothorn at about half HP, I would have controlled the game a lot better. So yet again, another mistake that brought me to a hole I had to crawl out of. So now he brings in Mega Swamp Ass. And I cannot take an Earthquake, so I'm going to go in an Noggin. I can't take a Liquidation either, I don't think, but I think Dan's going to play it safe and not go for rolls and go for Earthquake. So at that point, I avoid the Earthquake, which is nice. It's a good prediction on my part. And he's going to go for a Waterfall. So Waterfall hurts, but I have Giga Drain. Unfortunately, Uxie is not invested, so Giga Drain, or not special attack invested, so Giga Drain does not kill. And it doesn't bring me up to enough HP to live another Liquidation, but with each turn that passes, it's another turn with no rain, and he's going to Liquidation me and take me out. So he's up 4-3 at this point, still in the deficit at the moment, but I'm going to bring in 3 Cs. He's so low that a Fake Out will kill him, and I'm going to have to go for Fake Out to outspeed him, because if he calls my bluff and I don't Fake Out, then I'm in trouble. So realistically, I could have called his bluff and just gone for a return, which would have done a lot more damage to Sandbag, and I would have been able to 2-hit KO Sandbag from half HP. So Fake Out, yet again, a detriment to me. I'm using it a little too routinely. Like, I don't have to use Fake Out every time I come out, but I just feel like otherwise it's a waste of a move slot. Why'd I bring it, you know? Anyway, Sandbag lived on a Sliver, and he is going to swap out to keep Sandbag alive. And at this point, Sandbag was so low that I'm pretty sure I was comfortable with high jump kicking, but he brings out Drip Heavy to set up rain yet again, so I'm going to high jump kick. And this is 1 turn of rain down, so we're going to see he's got no more rain to set up, so he's got 7 more turns of rain, 8 more turns? I don't know when the timer actually starts, but obviously Mega Lopunny cannot stay in. I can't Fake Out, so I'm going to bring out Ferric Oxide and see if he just Waterfalls me and makes the bad play, and he does. So Waterfall is definitely a mistake that he made. He should have just Earthquaked, but I resist it, I live, and Iron Barbs takes Mega Swampert out. So Mega Swampert, the big threat, is gone. At this point, I think it's 3-3, but my Ferric Oxide is very low. Sandbag comes in. I really could have gone to something else, but I felt like anything else taking a hit was not worth it on the HP fire, so yeah, I don't know. I really probably could have just gone into Mega Lopunny to save that Ferrothorn to have it as sack off later, but anyway, Mega Lopunny comes out, and he has 2 Mons, I think, and I have 2 Mons, so I'm going to Ice Punch. So I have Tapu Lele in the back, full HP, has not seen the field one time this whole match. I kept it in the back, so Ilgros is his last Pokemon, is poisoned, it's at under 75%, he Earthquakes me, so that shows he's Scarfed into Earthquake. At this point, I'm like, alright, he's Scarfed into Earthquake. Earthquake only does 75 to 80-ish% to my Tapu Lele. I have a little bit of defensive investment in Lele this week just to help her live a hit a little bit better. So at this point, I'm like, alright, Dan was telling me, oh man, that waterfall really lost him the game. He sucks, he's unhappy that he chose it. And I was like, well, I don't know yet. And I was literally typing to him like, I don't know, there could be a crit, no crit. And he Earthquakes me, and I die. He gets a crit. Final turn crit, about a 4% chance, and I lose. Right on that. Tapu Lele really would have just destroyed him, to be honest. A regular Moonblast would have killed, but if he were some tricky, weird, full HP, full attack set, maybe there was a chance that he lived a Moonblast, but then to cover that, I used a Z Moonblast Twinkle Tackle, so really the crit saved him the game. We each made our own misplays that brought us to that point where I could finally come out on top, but you know, second out of my 3 losses, 2 of them came down to crits within the last 2 turns. So at this point, I'm really thinking Pokemon has it out for me. But now I'm 5-3, which is just not a great record to be a contender in our division. So I need to improve that, and I think I'm going to try to pick up next week when I battle Evan. I'm going to give him a run for his money, hopefully. So we'll see what happens.